Welcome back to another part of the journey where today we're flying on a very special Qatar Airways 777 from Doha down to the Maldives. Before boarding our first class flight, we had several hours to kill here in the Qatar Airways Al Safwa first class lounge. And let me tell you, if there's one lounge around the world that I wouldn't mind spending many hours in, it's probably this one. With a mesmerizing minimalistic decor in the lounge and so many features to keep you occupied, this place is truly a luxury traveler's haven. Start your time in the lounge by admiring the water features. This tube of water dripping down into this gigantic dish, as well as the cascading wall of water down along the hallway. You'll also find here in the museum-like interiors of this lounge some actual items from the Museum of Islamic Art here in Doha for you to browse through. We're having dinner here in the Qatar Airways Al Safwa first class lounge. We've got our champagne, we've got our Arabic coffee, and this is definitely one of my favorite first class lounges around the world. In addition to the ample seating areas, the business center, and the private dining room, one central feature of the Al Safwa First Class Lounge is the fact that there are private rooms available for you to use. Each first class passenger can request a private room on a first-come, first-served basis, and these also come with private bathrooms and showers in order to freshen up before your flight. After dining, relaxing, and admiring the interiors, it was time for us to hit the bar. And then, before going to board our flights, there was just enough time to indulge in one of the lounge's most outlandish features.
Oh, it's hot. Alright guys, this is definitely one of the most extra things you can do in an airport lounge. I'm pretty sure the Al Safwa Lounge by Qatar Airways here in Doha is the only airport lounge in the world that I know of that has a hot tub and jacuzzi in the lounge. Really is a pretty wild experience, and if you're flying Qatar Airways first class, I definitely recommend you do everything you can to experience this for yourself. Whew, gosh.
The bubbles ended up getting a little out of hand. Let's go board our flight. Making our way through Doha's Hamad International Airport, we eventually made it to the boarding gate, where we'd be embarking on a very special aircraft by Qatar Airways, or should I say, by Cathay Pacific. That's right, this is one of 4 Boeing 777s leased by Qatar Airways from Cathay Pacific at a time when the former has a shortage of aircraft and the latter has an excess. Qatar Airways hasn't refurbished the interiors, which means that the first class seats are the exact same as Cathay Pacific first class, except in Qatar Airways colors. Qatar Airways colors on a Cathay Pacific plane. This is going to be a very interesting first class flight. Now let's take a look around this Qatar Airways Cathay Pacific hybrid seat. At the front of the seat is an ottoman that also serves as a buddy seat if you wanted to dine with your companion. Then by the side, you've got the seat console that leads to the seat and entertainment controls. Note the legacy Cathay Pacific branding, as well as a little storage compartment to put your loose items. There's reading lights on both sides of the seat, a literature pocket, and ample real estate on the side that makes for an extra wide seat. There's some further storage here at the front of the seat shell, and then you've got the entertainment controller, which you can slide into place for maximum viewing pleasure. The tray table is one of the heftiest pieces I've seen on any first class cabin, popping out of its holder and slamming down into place. And here's a little storage unit to put your carry-on bags and any small items. It turns out that Jesse and I are the only passengers on tonight's Qatar Airways and Cathay Pacific hybrid first class flight, and so I'm really looking forward to the next 4 hours because we're just gonna have this whole space to ourselves. As we taxied along the Doha airport tarmac, I couldn't help but feel giddy with excitement about our impending return to the Maldives, especially on such a unique first class flight. Cometh the hour, cometh the beverage service, starting with Arabic coffee and followed by a staple here on Qatar Airways First Class, Krug 2004 champagne. Taking a peek at the amenity kit by Diptyque, you'll find a series of skincare items and a cologne inside this leather pouch, and I'd also note that there were separate pouches for the male and female versions of the kit. I browsed through the in-flight menus, picking out my indulgences for this journey, and before long, the meal was served.
Now it's time for my favorite first class patrol.
Alright, with this caviar spread here on Qatar Airways first class, it's the first time I've ever had caviar and salmon on the same plate. So let's try putting them together and seeing what it tastes like. Really powerful flavors. The caviar was followed by a second appetizer of the lentil soup, and then we dug into a shared main course of the Qatar grown chicken done two ways. I relished the Cajun flavors of the drumstick, but I'm not a big fan of mushrooms, so I gave that piece to Jessie. And for dessert, I tried the poached pear, a very creative dish that left me craving more, although I was pretty full at this point. Let's check out the restrooms here on the Qatar Airways 777, which is of course exactly the same as the Cathay Pacific 777. We've got the sink right here, we've got a bunch of amenities, deep teak by Qatar Airways. There's a little bench here, very convenient. And we need to go back to our seat. Heading back into the cabin, I asked the crew to do some turn-down service over in seat 2K behind me. Now these Qatar Pacific 777 first class seats, if we can call it that, are extremely wide when you put it in lie flat mode, and it makes for an incredible sleeping experience. But I wouldn't have too much time to enjoy the bed because before long, the sun was rising over the Indian Ocean and breakfast was served. I gotta say guys, the Qatar Airways vibes on a Cathay Pacific hard product, it really is quite an incredible experience, especially for an avid frequent flyer. It's not something you get to experience every day. As the daylight began to pour into the first class cabin, I couldn't help but admire just how beautiful everything looked in the sunshine. And even though I was very much sleep deprived at this point in the journey, I couldn't help but feel a sense of uplift and serenity as we made a smooth touchdown into Malé International Airport. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to paradise here in the Maldives. Alright guys, this was simply a magical journey here on the Qatar Airways 777. Qatar Airways and Cathay Pacific, who knows what's happening right now. It's 7 a.m, we're here in paradise in the Maldives. And in the meantime, go check out Qatar Airways' other signature product, the business class Q Suites. You'll see it in this video right here. I'll see you in that video, and also see you with more videos here from the Maldives.